Hello. Let's see what's going on here. Let's make it brighter. Whoa, there I am. A little bit brighter there. Volume up. Making sure all the volume is up and everything's up and going. Hello, and welcome everybody. Whew. It feels chillier today, but I don't know if it is. Haven't even looked at the temperature. But certainly chillier in in the astrology, that's for sure. Um it is, hey Lexi. It is yeah, it's I don't know how you want to how it's going in the mundane world. That's the thing. It's like the things that are happening within the mundane world are making people feel very out of sorts, very tired. Sinus issues, sleep disorders. You could sleep for 12 hours and still feel like shit. Um, Exhaustion. Like I honestly the other day at work when I was so tired. Like coffee wasn't doing it. I was even ready to get an energy drink. That's how tired I was. I could have closed my eyes and fell asleep in a corner of the store. That's how tired I was. Just totally exhausted. Having to go outside really helps, get the cold air and it sort of pulls you back in. But just with this Mars retrograde and the extreme oppositions, squares that are happening, that are coming up, are really whew, causing havoc, I believe. Um, I'm going to address the drone thing because people are freaking out about the drone thing. It's like, one, nobody has the answers to them. And and the thing is, the other part too, with everything, with Pluto going to Aquarius, this is getting you to enter the new frontier. This is where we've had 16 years of Pluto in Capricorn. We've had 248 years until this point. And everything from the last 248 years has been done with structure, on some kind of structure, some kind of stability, or wanting some kind of stability. And it's not there anymore. The reliance that people have had with government, with authorities in different areas, is not there. This is showing you where this weird world is. I mean, we're in a weird world. We're It's never going to be the same again. Never. Never ever. You thought 2019 was crazy. You thought 2019 and 2020, oh, that was crazy. Well, that was just a psyops. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, everybody. That was just a psyops of seeing how control can happen. That's what that was. If you believe me or not, I don't care anymore. Um, but this is where everything is very coming into potency. This Mars retrograde opposite Pluto coming into a square with Saturn. And that's the father son square. That is the father son. And it will be at its most powerful on Christmas Eve. This is where, even with Venus in Aquarius and trying to make a trine, I mean, to Jupiter, those are benefics. They want to bring in some goodness. They want to bring in something good. But Jupiter just doesn't have the gumption. He's in detriment. He's in retrograde. He's in Gemini. He's not feeling his fully self. So this is where we are feeling like there is a big change. And I think this solstice on the 21st is really going to show people. They're going to feel it. They may not see it, but they're going to feel it. They're going to feel that this is a huge change. This is a huge activation that has just happened. For the sun is going to go into Capricorn for the very first time in 16 years, and Pluto's not there. The house is empty. It is coming home, and you open the door and you're expecting Uncle Charlie to be there sitting, or you expecting everything to be decorated and ready for you for Christmas, and it's not there. So it's that where you're wanting this structure, you're wanting this definition, and it's not there. This is a new frontier of exploring. This is a frontier of looking at what can I create? What can I do? This is a time of saying I need to let go of what I believe it should look like. I need to let go of the structure and what the structures are that I thought were in place. I mean, if I if I hear one more thing about like all this craziness about Trudeau, I mean, the thing is, we don't have control over that. We don't have control over that unless you're going to stand up and revolt. Unless the whole country stands up and does a huge revolt and and go and extremely forcibly do it. Everybody's doing the legal actions and trying to do it, but that's the only way that the change could actually happen, and that would cause a civil war within the country. But this is where things are going to be taken to extremes. People are going to get really fed up. What does that mean? Will that happen? Again, there are so many unknown factors that are coming in where people have to let go of that. They have to let go of the things that distract them, the things that they need to withdraw from, and look at how they are able to connect more to their own faith and to their own divine. And that's the biggest piece at this time. And it's hard because people want the structure. People want things to be a certain way. They like it. And this sounds, I know many of you are going to say, well, I don't like it when people have power over me. Look at the world we're living in. People love it when somebody else is telling them what to do. People love it when they're able to have a structure, right? You need to withdraw from life. But that's when you look at society as a whole, it's like you see where people, this is what they want. We saw it in 2020. We saw it in 20, how people were not wanting to stand out. We're not wanting to be different. One, they don't want to be called out. They don't want to be cast out. They don't want to be called names. Because we want to cling to whatever community and whatever it is that we feel is is some sort of connection. And here we're entering into a world that is changing forever. A world that is not going to be structured. A world that is going to be a new frontier that is going to have you rely on your faith and your God. That is the truth. When you see Mars retrograde in Leo and doing these oppositions and aspects that haven't happened for since 1886 BC or something like that, when we're seeing things like that, we know change is on the way. We know that structure is changing. Things that worked with Capricorn with control. Capricorn is about control. Capricorn wants, I mean, the thing is like if you talk to a true Capricorn, one, you said 9 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock. You're not 9:01 or 9:02. They want the structure, right? So that's why when it comes to governments, when it comes to institutions and schools and the way things are built, it's built within the Capricorn structure, right? But the systems that we felt were there are not there. They're not there. They're not protecting us anymore. And that's what is becoming the frustration, is the releasement and the let go. This is where we want the movement, and it's it's clunky. It's like trying to learn how to use a standard for the first time, and you've never used this, and you've never driven before, never even driven a standard before. It's clunky. It's stop and start and buttery and you're and shaking all over the place, and the mutability is there. And we have this, we haven't even felt Mercury fully, going forward and feeling that, okay, I'm getting the clarity that I want, and he's been what, going forward for a few days now, but we're not feeling that. We're still trying to get that, out of that fogginess, I guess you'll say. And we won't actually feel like, because I mean, Mercury's been in Sag since the first week of November, and we're not going to feel anything until the new year, until he's fully out of Sag and into Capricorn. So this is intense. This is intense goals. This is intense times, and we have to maintain our composure. We have to look at where, one, don't get into conversations like if somebody's, it's like, don't get into the gossip. Don't get into repeating conversations. Um Walk away from, if it's too much or too intense. It's like, you don't want to get into the news. It's whatever, it's just too much. Step away from it. You don't need to. This is where we are finding, and especially with the moon is now conjunct with Mars, so that internalness is there. This is where a lot can come up, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, and it's ignited. It's in Leo, so things can get out of, the bonfire can get out of control. It can expand more than what you want it to expand, right? So we have a lot we got a semi square over to Venus and the sun to Neptune. So there's aggravation. So you might get a lot of rest, but you don't feel the rest, right? You feel the exhaustion. And I feel like it's almost like you're driving. It's if anybody's driven in a whiteout or in an extremely foggy area, and it feels kind of like that. You just have to take your time, or just say, no, I'm going to pull over. I'm not going to drive in this. I am going to take some time. I'm going to take some time to really look at, reanalyze, see what else can come forward. And I may not get all the answers at this time, but I need to allow and let go and have faith in God. C.S. Lewis, if you know who C.S. Lewis is, the Lion in the Wardrobe. C.S. Lewis, seven things to quit. He wrote this about seven things to quit in order to help yourself to center. Do boop, boop. Seven things to quit. And this is, I mean, the more I've been looking at C.S. Lewis, which is this is a guy who really questioned things in life, questioned God, questioned his faith, really looked at what it means to allow God, the divine, um, into your life. And see if I can find it. If I can cut and paste it, I will. Um, uh, nope. Just trying to find it here. Images. Oh, a lot of YouTube. But you can look it up for yourself about the seven things to quit. And some of them is, some of the things that he wrote were things like to stop listening to the news, or stop, um, repeating gossip, or who you hanging out with, like who's in that inner circle that you have that is always pulling you down. Are you bringing people into your life that are lifting you up, or are you bringing people into your life that are pulling you down? So he talks about things like that in helping to lift you up. So, and looking at what is distracting you from that connection with yourself spiritually. And I found it very interesting. I was sort of looking, I should have wrote them all down, but I didn't. I was just listening. Um, but that's the thing, is that this is the type of energies and frequencies that are coming in that are going to get you distracted or get you going down a rabbit hole. Nobody, when it comes, let's say, to the drones, right? Nobody has the answers. I mean, if anybody who is on TikTok and stuff and says, I got the answers, or I have, no, they don't. Nobody does. Nobody truly knows exactly what's happening. There's probably a few deep staters that probably do know, because, they're a part of it. But as a general public, or letting the public know, they're not going to let the public know. They're not going to let the public know. They're not going to let people know about this. This is where this is where the new frontier is. This is where, if you think about, say, the French Revolution or the American Revolution, the changes that the people wanted, was a new frontier, because it was something, especially when it came to the American Revolution, something that was never done before, right? The manifesto, or not the manifesto, I shouldn't say that word, the Declaration of Independence, in it being written, it's been written in different ways, but being put together the way it had been put together, is quite interesting. So, just got something fall in my eye, which is weird. But this is where I feel that right now is a time for people just to take a breather. It is crazy. It's just going, I hate to say, it's just going to get crazier. I keep on saying that, but um this is where we have to stop and see which direction we want to go to, and what are the connections we want to have, right? Um a lot of the things and a lot of the ways that we do things in our life are not going to continue on. Uh Jobs, or the way our society is structured, our government. The whole world is looking at Canada right now, and the craziness. And it's not only Canada. Germany is government is basically fucked. Their economy in Germany is almost like it was before World War II, with inflation. The French, with Macron, I mean, it's basically asking for him to step down, and he won't step down. We have the craziness that's happening in the UK, and the back deal happening, where the Prime Minister of the UK wants to go back to the EU, which, so there's all of this craziness that is happening. Anything that doesn't feed the spirit, hanging with the wrong people, criticizing and judging others. Yeah, that's C.S. Lewis. I mean, and these are things that we know. We've heard them before, right? And it is now really looking at what we need to put into practice, into our lives, and looking at what really feeds the soul, magnifying what is going wrong, overdoing it, pleasing people, overthinking. Those are the 7 things. So I'll just repeat them. Anything that doesn't feed the spirit, hanging with the wrong people, criticizing, judging others, magnifying what is going wrong, overdoing it, pleasing people, and overthinking. Those are the 7 things from C.S. Lewis. He wrote those, I think, prior to World War II, in the 30s. And it's quite interesting. He even has, he was at Oxford University during during the 30s, and it was interesting, the books that he wrote and talking about faith and talking about his like, he talks about his struggle that he had with connecting with God. Because before he connected with God, he was he was an atheist, right? And did not believe. And then just changes that were happening in his life, he started to question the people that he was meeting. He was starting to question, and got him to question and really look at and deepening his faith with the divine. And I feel that's where right now where everything is pushing us. It's pushing us to have that deep connection, having it and looking at what does feed the soul, you know? This is where at the end of the day, I have to look at what is allowing me to grow spiritually. And sometimes the thing is when we're stepping into that realm and we're stepping into that realm of trusting God, trusting you can call Jesus. When you're stepping into that realm, it's not an easy one. It's one that's going to challenge you. It's the one that's going to give you challenges or seemingly things in your life that you feel like you can't handle, or why did I go down this way, because this the way I was living was perfectly fine, so it seemed. It's so easy to go down the other route, and that's what we're seeing. And I'll throw in an extreme where people thought, I can't make it on my own merit without P Diddy. I can't make it on my own merit. I can't My singing career will be nothing without his approval, right? So that is another, that's an extreme, but that's where a lot of people will feel, I can't make it with this job if I don't get to know the boss really well, or whatever, how that manipulation can happen. So it's not feeding the soul. When you walk away from that, when you walk away, and it might look glorious, it might look wonderful. It looks like, oh, look at, they got the house and they're traveling the world and they have all the money. But do they have the spirit and the connection to God? The true spirit and connection with God? Or is it just flamboyant and just something that is a facade, right? So that came to two, hanging with the wrong people. Criticizing and judging others. Ooh, that's a hard one. Criticizing how somebody does something, how they work, and their working ethics. Man, I'm having that one. Number 3 is a big one for me. I got to admit that. That's fucking hard. Um just with how someone does their job, or how somebody is works at what they're doing, right? Can be very difficult because you might see that they should be doing it differently, or how they should be living their life. Uh oh my god. I can see her and I'm thinking of her, but there was a story that she was telling, and it's something I do in Journey Club, and I say, is it true? And there was a story that anyway, story that was being told about the sister who felt her sister wasn't living the life that she's supposed to be living. So basically criticizing and judging her, looking at her life, while she gets up too late, her house is always dirty, you know, um, she hangs with the wrong people. And Byron was asking questions, well, does she work? Yeah, she works. Um, is her house as clean as yours? No. Does that, but the thought, it came down to that the sister felt that her sister's life wasn't fulfilled because it wasn't an image of the way she thought life should be. So this is again going back to how you are criticizing and judging others and asking those questions, magnifying what is going wrong. I mean, we can dwell on the shit that doesn't work in our life. We can dwell on the stuff that doesn't work in the country. We can look at it, but at the end of the day, We got to just hand it over to the Holy Spirit and ask for inner peace and a miracle. There's something there that as a nation we have to learn, as a world we have to learn. So we can't sit there magnifying and pick apart and criticize and judge everything. And then just overdoing it, thinking that we just have to overdo everything. We have to do this. We have to do this, right? And trying to go over the top with that. People pleasing. Ugh. Um, appeasing people, making, just you're doing something just to appease that person. That doesn't feed your soul, really. And the overthinking's a hard one. I mean, there's a lot to do with anxiety and people having depression during these, in today's society more so than ever before. And they're thinking that, oh well, I have to look this way, I have to be this way, or if I say this, it's the wrong thing I'm saying. So just allowing yourself to be the total person, just be who you are, do the things that you love to do. Not saying that's going to be perfect, but when you're putting yourself into a new line and coming into the trust of the divine, I'm going to say it's not going to be an easy route. It's a lot easier to not, and just sort of go willy-nilly, but then you find that that's where the depression and the overthinking and the criticizing and everything will start to come in, because you're worried about things. So things are than what we think. I mean, it's the 8 of Fires, it's the wands all coming in, information coming in. So this is like, okay, I got to take a moment to observe. I got to take a moment to absorb what is coming forward, right? So I am not feeling scattered and all over the place, right? And with that, it's the Page of Fire. It's, there is excitement with all of this. It might not feel exciting, but the changes, the new adventure, the new frontier that is coming forward, it's bringing in a sense of excitement. It's bringing in something new for us to look at. And it may not be perfect. It's not going to be exactly the way that we want it to be, but it's allowing us to set in motion something new to feed our spirit and our soul. And with that, it's going to allow for a lot of difficulties. When you hand it over, when you give it up, it's a release. It's allowing you to say, hey, you know what? I can't handle all of this. This stuff is way above my pay grade kind of thing. I'm going to give it up to the Holy Spirit, and I'm going to ask for the divine to help and guide me with this all. And in doing so, I have to have faith that it's going to work out to the highest good for myself. And that's where the astrology is today. So there you go, people. I want you all to have a fabulous day. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you, and all that you say and all you be and all you do. Have a blessed day today. Allow yourself to expand. Allow yourself to be the beautiful souls you all are, And sometimes, people aren't going to like that you are just feeding your soul and doing the things that are bringing you to your highest good. So judgment is always going to be there, in different formats from different people. But you know what? 1,000 people can have 1,000 different opinions about you. But what really counts is how you feel and how your connection is with your higher self. May the Lord bless you and guide you throughout your day, and shine your light, everyone. Don't let anybody stop you shining. God bless, and the Goddess bless. Bye-bye.